Alright guys, we got the first of these challenges, new Carina's challenges. We got the Ordeal with hashtag Hero Champions. I'm going to show you exactly what I did, which is not going to be the same as everyone else's, or some will be similar, some I'm sure won't be. But we're going to start off with Dr. Doom. I'm going to try and give a little explanation of what I did for each fight and then fast forward through them very quickly, or at least you can see the entire fight. I've sped them up and you can let the music play out and you can watch the entire thing. The first fight is Doom. Typically you're going to see someone with an extra large champion here because every other hit, every hit is going to glance with most champions except for extra large. With a small champion like Viv, it's only going to be heavy attacks. So the only thing that is not going to glance, and there is bubble shield on this one as well. But I can phase. I can basically phase in heavy the entire time. And if I really wanted to just take a little while to do it and not take any damage, I could just phase heavy and special 3. I did boost up for these fights to try and make them a little bit easier. And I could probably just continue this the entire time. I do go for like a special 2 into special 1 rotations at some point, and take a little bit of the glancing damage. There I just mistake on a striker there, and the striker will also give you that glancing damage, so you can't really rely on the striker. The heavies and the special 3 are the only thing that I can really do that is gonna get me through it. But you can see at this point I probably could have continued and gotten the fight down, except I did make a mistake there. But other than that, it went fine. So I could have done better, but I did get the solo on this one. So I'll let the music play out, and we'll see you at the second fight. Okay, the second fight here is Terrax. I was really disappointed that I didn't get the solo with Wiccan. It should have been, I did a solo when I practiced this one, but as long as you keep up his neutralize, he doesn't get any of his annoying power gain buffs, and he doesn't gain his like the indestructible buffs, and you just keep spamming the special ones and you can heal back up all the damage that you took from his rock shield, and then you'll just heal back up almost a full every time. So it is definitely a soloable fight. It is only a rank 2 Wiccan, so probably a rank 4, a rank 3 or 4 I'm sure would do a lot better here. But I was pretty happy with using Wiccan here, and I do use Wiccan for another fight as well that worked really well. But I didn't get the solo. I ended up using Jean Grey to finish off the fight because I made a mistake at the end. But other than that, it worked out really well. I'll see you at the next fight. All right, next up is Vision, and Vision is one where he's going to go special 1, special 2, special 3, unless you have a way to taunt him in order to make him throw more specials. Cassie has the taunt. The last time I did like a Grandmaster's Gauntlet run, I used like a 6-star Cassie, but I didn't have a 7-star Cassie, so she was in the last 2 Titan crystals, and managed to get her on both accounts. So I'm probably going to use her for both runs. But if you're familiar with Cassie, she has a taunt on her special 1, and then you can obviously shrink down and get a whole bunch of power stings on your opponent, and then you want to taunt them in order to have them keep throwing those specials as much as possible. Each special refreshes all the power stings, and I got up to like 30 something power stings, but then lost them at some point, but did manage to get the solo. It's been a while since I've played with Cassie, but I did used to use her a lot in Alliance War and stuff, and I did mention in my Titan Crystal Open the other day that I was going to be using her, and I use her a bunch of times in this run. So if you like Cassie and you happen to have her as a 7-star, she works extremely well for these, for Ordeal or Gauntlet style runs. So I'll let this one play out, and we'll see you at the next fight. All right, next up is Modok. We got a nice solo with Okoye. The main thing on this one, just to make sure that you knock him down and remove, remove his shield to avoid the auto block. You do have to worry about the disorients on your parries, so you might want to back off. And what I would just do is I would just parry once I had very few disorients on me, parry and get the heavy, and then go for the specials when his shields are on cooldown. So again, parry, put the shields on cooldown, then go ahead and do your damage, and he absolutely melts. So I'll let the music play out, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, next up, a small mistake. I was so excited after beating that soloing Modok. I went right in with Okoye against Spider-Ham here, and I should have switched over to Jean Grey, but I was kind of, I should have switched, but I forgot, and then I probably should have quit out of the fight because Okoye does not work for this Ham at all, because Okoye relies on debuffs, and Spider-Ham is debuff immune on this fight. But what we're going to use instead is we are going to go ahead and use Jean Grey, and Jean Grey can put on the like passive neuroshocks, as well as the get her passive stun in there, and it's going to make for a much easier time. So unfortunately here I'm kind of stuck where this was not a good use of anything. I just end up, it's just a waste. I'll have to revive Okoye at some point, but yeah, this is not going to help anyone out here. So you can just ignore this part here, and when we bring in Jean, we will be you'll see whether we can actually get this fight down pretty nicely. You still have to worry about you do have to worry about his evades, his potential to go unstoppable. You do not want to deal with his special 2. You want to deal mainly just with his special 1. And here I'm trying to get this, but this would have taken forever with Okoye, because it's really not a fun time here and there. I'm gonna just get rocked. So that's fine. I knew once I went in there was nothing I was going to be able to do there, but Jean worked a lot better on this one. So it probably would have been a solo if I would have started with Jean, but again, you can get the passive stuns with her, which are huge, because it makes for a lot easier time. And you can also heal up from the taunts and the power, and you have to watch out when he puts power stings on you, but you can get free willpower healing. And I think when you watch this fight, when it's sped up, you're going to see me gain a bunch of health, then lose a bunch of health, then gain it right back. So because you make a little mistake, you lose some health, but also you're getting the passive neuroshocks on the entire time, so it makes for a much easier time. And again, if I would have started it, I probably would have had a solo. So that's the end of this one. We'll let the music play out, and we'll see you the next fight. All right, next up is Weapon X. I used to do Viv against Weapon X all the time in Alliance War. I went in probably a little too cocky. I should have healed up Viv. The main thing with Viv against Weapon X is that you do have the passive heal block that can prevent all this healing, but you cannot use your phase. If you use the phase, he's going to go unstoppable, and it's going to be a big pain in the ass. So you wait for him to throw a special, wait for his unstoppable to go out, and when he's unblockable, you're just baiting specials, and you're going to see here, I'm going to go for my special 2, then I'm going to continue baiting specials, and I'm going to get my bunch of unblockable special 1s over and over again, and then you redo the same cycle again, build up to special 2 and run the special 1s again, and it's a good time, except I do make a mistake when in his second round, when he is unblockable, I miss my intercept, and so right here at the end, I'm gonna go ahead, back away, and I get hit, and probably would have been able to survive had I healed up. So instead, I revive, I go back in and finish the fight. So Viv, excellent in this fight here for Weapon X. Always a good time for me, at least with Viv against Weapon X. So I'll let the rest of it play out, and we'll see you at the next one. Okay, next up is the Thing fight. I use Jean for Thing. Jean can get her like neuroshocks on because he's not immune to that. He has unblockable specials, and he's got Oscillate, so he's going to be rotating between being aggressive and then turtling up in his armor phase, and when he's got the Fury, he's going to be attacking. The main thing is just to play around his rock stacks. So again, you want to push him to 15 when he has a bar of power. If he throws a special at like 14, then you're going to get stuck trying to hit into his block, which you'll see me doing a lot to push him to a bar of power when he's at like 15 rock stacks, but he's below a bar of power. So you got to push him to a bar of power. Occasionally you might have to getting stuck parrying and hitting him and playing around that, which can be very annoying because then he's unstoppable too much. But because he gets passive all the time, there's always good options when he turtles up to then go hit into his block and then build up into a special. He doesn't usually throw a special in the armor up phase, but it is possible, so you got to be aware of that. So other than that, it was just a very long slog of a fight, but Jean had no problem with it. So I'll let the music play out, and we'll see you at the next fight. All right, next up is Korg. Got 3 really annoying nodes, and I forgot about one of them at the beginning, and I took some extra damage, and it should have been an easy solo. Gene is a great counter for Korg in general, but he has Mix Master, where if you do the same attack twice in a row, he's going to evade. He has Flux Dispersal, so if you hit him too many times without landing a heavy attack, your damage is going to go down to 0. And he has Gauss Warps, where his block penetration is going to be going up the entire time, so you do have to be careful about when you parry and take any hits. So he's going to be hitting really hard, and I totally forgot how to play around the Mixmaster at the very beginning of the fight. It should be like medium, light, medium, heavy attack, medium, light, medium. Like, I should have kept it slow, but I didn't play too smart at the beginning of the fight. But eventually, the more times you knock down his like rock stacks, they come back with less and less each time, to the point by the end of the fight they're gone, and it should have been a solo. I just played poorly at the beginning, but Gene is a phenomenal counter for Korg here, so you can watch the entire fight, and we'll see you at the next one. All right, next up is a stun immune Dragon Man. He has lots of power gain, and you can't. Your power draining is going to be 90% less effective. We are going to use Cassie again to like shrink down, put on a bunch of power stings, and use those taunts from the special one to keep Dragon Man throwing those specials. So you can get a lot of power stings on, especially on like the special one if you're at your max charges. I just kind of made sure that I don't want to accidentally stun myself by shrinking for too long. But for the most part, we get a bunch of power stings on early. Make sure you get that the taunt from the special 1, and then you want to keep going for it as much as possible. The more times you throw that special 1, the more chances that Dragon Man's actually going to throw a special, because you see, without it, it gets really annoying. And I got hit there, which is, again, not great. It should have been, it's definitely possible to be a solo. There is some RNG involved of whether or not Dragon Man is actually going to throw a special, and sometimes he doesn't. And then you could get rocked with a special 3. I revived, went back in, and just had a terrible run on my second attempt, and got him on the third. So it took 2 revives here. This is the only fight, I think, that I actually revived twice on. So Cassie's just amazing. For the majority of the fight here, I had like 36, 37 power stings on, and he's just absolutely melting. I just lost my rotation at one point, but it shows you that it is possible. I think the solo is definitely possible. I'm going to try with the other account. Maybe I'll get lucky on that one. But for this one, took 2 revives, not that bad. We'll see at the next fight. All right, next up, I brought Wiccan in for this Black Panther Civil War. He basically eliminates all the buffs that he can get. So you don't want to block him or give him an armor up, because then he's going to be unblockable. And he's going to start with that armor up there. He's going to be unblockable, and after he throws a special, there's Footloose for a unstoppable and a regen. But as long as you keep up the neutralize, then you really have nothing to worry about. So here, I'm just kind of hitting into his block at the beginning of the fight, trying to get him to throw his specials, and then get into a decent rotation. It's only a rank 2 Wiccan, but I just kept trying to cycle between light ending combos, medium ending combos. Always tried to go with the light ending combo into a special 1 for the extended duration on the neutralize. Try to I heavied once and got lucky that he didn't destroy me there, so don't use a heavy against Black Panther Civil War. And then if it was baiting a special, sometimes I would go back and hold block for a second to get the armor up that you can get with Wiccan. But really, it was that's just to pause my different spells. There's the passive incinerates that you're getting the entire time. I couldn't really build up to special 2 because I just wanted to make sure that I was getting those special 1s with the neutralize on the entire time if I could. So that is really what I was doing on this one. It just took a while, but seemed very safe for this one. So Wiccan did a great job. We'll let the music play out, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, the next two fights are very easy Okoye fights. The Nightcrawler is just a regular Nightcrawler, nothing too, like there's really nothing crazy there. You evade with Okoye, you get the ensnare on, and then it's just a very easy Nightcrawler. The next one for Spider-Gwen, there's one eye open, so you don't want to stun. Any damage you do while stunned will be on you, and there's a window opportunity stun, so you have to be aware of that, so you don't stun by mistake and then get stunned while that window opportunity stun is up. Other than that, it's two super fast fights with Okoye. She absolutely melts them. The hard part is the evade, and she bypasses it completely. So like there's an auto evade, like he's gonna get an evade charge every time he throws a special, completely irrelevant here. And Spider-Gwen has lots of evade, completely irrelevant. So I'll let the music play out for both of those fights, and then we'll see you in the next one. Next up, Viv made very quick work of Domino here. So the main thing on this one is that you only gain a bar of power when Domino gains a bar of power because of Matador, and there's Limber. And because I use my phasing, I don't worry about the Limber at all. So I'm just going to push Domino up to either 1 or 2 bars of power. It doesn't matter, but as long as I get my, I'll go for a special 2, then I'll spam off. I can't do the consistent back-to-back special ones because again, I won't gain power that way. I can only gain it when she gains a bar of power, but it's fine. I'm just going to build up to a special 2, and then the next time when she throws so I'm going to get my big damage here, tons of damage, 1 special 2, and she's already a quarter of the way down. So now I'm just going to build to, I'll get to the special 1, already down below 50% after 1 special 1. There we go, we get another one. Let her throw that special. Boom. And I think 1 more might do it. So we'll just build up to another, let her throw another special. And then I can go ahead and drop mine. And I think that's it. So super fast fight with Viv. That was great. And then Mojo here. Cassie is basically immortal against Mojo here because Cassie has no buffs. And I did heal up Cassie, but I didn't even need to. I'm going to end up with 1 million like staggers on me that are just giving me free willpower healing. And I'm not going to really get any of the degens on me. I'm basically immortal against Mojo here. Probably one of the easier solos. I get hit so many times in this one, but still truck along and just keep getting willpower healing. Here's a good example where you can keep the power stings on longer by after you have shrunk down, you get a charge on the top left, that like the little beaker there, the purple icon. If you have a charge there from shrinking down, then you can go ahead and do a medium ending combo that puts a poison on the opponent and helps pause your power stings. So again, the majority of this fight, I think Mojo has like 30 plus power stings on and is just melting. And even if I do get hit like a million times, I'm not worried at all about dying in this one. So Cassie, super cheat code for this Mojo. All right, for I-Bomb here, I ended up starting with Viv. I should have gone with Cassie right away. Cassie would have made this fight go a lot faster, but Viv works as well. I was just messing up my special one evades on this one, but really it should have been a Cassie fight the entire way. Really, the only thing to worry about here is you really don't want to let him get to a special 2, but because he'll have his like toxic aura up the entire time, you really don't want that. So I just stuck with special 1s, and again, I used my usual Viv stuff here. It worked totally fine, but I just kept missing his special 1. I just wasn't dashing back fast enough on a bunch of them. At the beginning I was fine, but again, Cassie worked really, really well because she just puts on so many power stings and just absolutely melts him. Again, Viv would have worked fine. I just screwed up on it. So no revives on this one, but could have been a solo easily with either one of Viv or Cassie. right, next up we've got Apocalypse. Now, I've never been good at evading Apocalypse's special 1. It's just not in my skill set. And the special 2, I can do it, but I hadn't done it in a while, so I was a little nervous to do it at the beginning. And I think if I would have done it right from the get-go on this one, then maybe I would have had the solo. But it just took me 1 revive with Viv here. But it's really the amount of block damage is nuts from Apocalypse here. Plus, I think he's reducing a lot of my ability accuracy as a tech champion. But I did not want to bring the other ones because I didn't want to give him too many charges potentially with other champions and dying. You don't want him to have like 4 charges and be stunning you through the block, like if you want to try and bait a heavy. But again, we got some decent damage here with the Viv rotation right at the beginning. But I think I just messed up, and I should have been more confident to do a full evade on the special 2. You're going to see here me block it and then evade the last part. But I really, at a certain point, I say screw it, and I just start getting the full evade on the special 2. So I should have been more confident in that. Other than that, he's a big tanky beast here. I did boost up big, and only 1 revive, so that wasn't too bad. All right, Sasquatch is another incredibly clean Cassie fight. The only thing here, there's life cycle, hard not life. It's not too bad at all, but you want to basically knock him down a million times. So at the end of the fight, that blue timer, when it turns gray or when it goes on cooldown, that you can take him out. And Sasquatch just absolutely melts with all the power stings that you can get from Cassie. Especially if you get him throwing them in his Wrath of Tanarak, he's just going to throw them over and over and over again, which is just helping him. So you ramp up as many as you can. And here we go. He's going to go 1, 2, throw a bunch, shrink down, add some more, just keep having him throw it. It's a really fun, satisfying fight here with Cassie, and he just kills himself so fast with all the power stings. So I hope you enjoy that one. I know I did. All right, next up is Jean against Killmonger here. The main thing here is that if you take a blocked hit, then it's going to put bleeds on you. So at the beginning, I was trying to go for an intercept. I don't want to take too many blocks. And if the protection is up from Jean, which I lost right at the beginning, then even if you do take a blocked hit, the bleed damage won't be so bad because the damage is reduced based on, I think, the protection that you've got active. So you can get a bunch of damage from Jean here. It works great. Killmonger, obviously, you don't want to give him... I just walked into that. I wanted to get a special 2 off, and I walked right into the end of his special 2. So, again, made a mistake early, but, made a nice little comeback and got a clean solo on this one. Could have been better at some points, but worked out really, really well. Jean was absolutely fantastic. And, yeah, we'll see you in the next fight. All right, for Void, the main thing is to worry about is the long distance relationship. So Okoye can absolutely do this one, and there's also Power Shield and shifting immunities between bleed and poison. But the main thing is that you want to, I just did some parry heavies at the beginning to keep my distance while I build up to like 1 or 2 bars of power, and then drop the specials, because I want to stay far away. If I go with combos, then I'm going to be really, I don't want to put any debuffs on me, because if I get a weakness if I'm too close to him, that's the issue. So you want to stay away from the long distance relationship, and then throw your specials when you have to, and then back away again, because you do not want to have any debuffs on you. If he puts on one of his intimidating debuffs, you can remove it from every 10th hit, but those long distance relationship ones, you just got to back away and let them drop off. So I played nice and slow, lots of parry heavies to keep my distance, and then threw the specials when I had them. So it worked out really nicely, got another solo. Okay, our last fight before the Nameless Thanos boss is going to be this kinetic transference Nick Fury. We've got Jean. She's a mutant, so I don't have to worry about too much of his charges. When he throws his special one, you got to be careful. He's going to gain a lot of power right back afterwards because of the kinetic transference. So you want to try and evade part of it, or I can't evade all of it, but I can evade the end of it. But really, it just ends up being a beefy Nick Fury, but Jean absolutely destroys it. You got to be a little bit careful of his charges, but not as bad because you're a mutant. And again, I try to push him to special 2s as much as possible, and it worked out really, really nicely. Jean just absolutely crushes him, and he's not as bad as he used to be, that's for sure. So this is our last solo here. We had 12 solos, and then we have a really nice Nameless Thanos fight. I'll walk you through all the phases, so stick with me for the one. I've put some comments in on what you should worry about in each phase, but I'll walk you through exactly what I did and how I got through it. Finally, we've got the Nameless Thanos boss. So I didn't use any revives, mostly got it done with Jean. And the main thing that to note here is that if you bait his heavy attack, even in all his phases, it's a really good way to get in damage and avoiding the annoying parts of his different phases. So phase 1 is nothing. Phase 2, the main thing is he has a red armor up in the top. If he has that, then he's going to put a bleed on you. So you wait till it goes down, then you can go ahead and attack him. I'll go ahead, I'll attack him, get as much damage in. I'll try and hold block, bait a heavy attack, an attack in, and keep doing that, because that avoids him. You can't push him to a special 3, so he'll stay at a special 1. You keep baiting heavies, and it's the cheat code in order to get as much damage in as you can. He threw another special 1. I'm going to back off, wait for that red timer to go down, and then I hit in again. And I'm going to do my special attack. I'm going to hold block, and I'm going to continue to bait heavies and try and get in as much damage and prevent him from throwing another special till we get to the next phase. And obviously my game got me, like, I got like the bug where my game is smaller, like it shrunk the screen down when he went for his animation in between stones. So again, here we're going to go ahead, bait some more heavy attacks, and try and get into that next phase without him having to throw so many. So there we go. Next phase is you're going to lose a bunch of health, but then gain it back, and then you have to watch out for his... he's going to have an evade on him, so just be careful of that. And his unblockable special 2, you only evade the different color like orbs, so the light colored ones are the ones you evade, so you just got to be careful of that. But again, the same thing, you can't push him past 2 bars of power. So again, if I get him in the corner, I'm just going to hold block, bait a heavy attack, and get in as much damage as I can, so I don't have to bait so many of those specials. So again, I'm going to throw my combo, throw a special, hold block, and if he does throw it, go for the light colored orb there, not the blue ones. And again, watch out for that evade timer, and again, push to a bunch of heavies, and eventually you'll get him down to the final phase, the 4th phase. When we get there, the main thing that you're going to have to do is he's going to have death touch, so you don't really want to get hit by him. It's an instant death when you get to that last phase, and you need to intercept him in order to remove... in order to gain yourself a protection from his special 3, so when he throws it, you don't instantly die. Okay, so here again, we continue to bait special 2s, make him hold block, let him throw it. Now we're in the final phase. We need to throw an intercept. If we throw the intercept, we get the safeguard, which is on the top left in pink. And that's going to prevent me from dying from a special 3. So now I can go ahead and get as much damage in as I can before he throws that special 3. Just be careful, after every special 3 he's going to have that death touch active, so I'm going to have to go ahead and try and go for an intercept and get as much damage in here until he throws his special. I last for another one, so I was feeling really good. I thought I almost had the solo on this one, and then I'm going to back off, try and go for the intercept, and I get it again, but I don't think I've got enough health left to survive. So I tried really hard. I'm like, okay, we're down to like 3%, but I don't think I survived this last special 3. So I came really close. I brought in Cassie, didn't do too well here. I messed up my intercept, I think, on this one. I probably should have shrunk down. That would have been fun to see if that worked. But I got hit there, and then I brought in Wiccan and finished it off. So hopefully this helps you out with the full guide. All 21 fights, 12 solos. I only used 6 revives, and a bunch of them I probably could have soloed if I had played a bit better. So I did get the objective. Hopefully it helps, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.